All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, appreciate you guys being here. My name is Andrew David. This is the High Performance Call with Blake Newbar's team. Monday through Friday, noon Eastern time. We're typically here. Excited to have you guys here. If you are joining for the first time, then welcome aboard. If it's one of your first times, hopefully you guys are ready to take a few notes. All sorts of different topics that we typically go over on these calls, train anywhere from success and goal setting and networking and your daily activities and how to become better as an entrepreneur. But we also spend some time talking a little bit about your business and marketing and other things that will help you establish yourself, build a foundation, and then lay out the pathway so that you can achieve your goals. On that note, guys, what we've got today, I'm excited for today. I have a gentleman that's going to join me. We're going to feature him in just a second, but I have been working online for going on 6 years now. Spent the last few years working with an individual who at this point, I like to call him a friend. We've done, and I hope he would agree with me. We have done hundreds of hours of training together. We have hosted live events all over this country. We've hosted masterminds. We have trained hundreds of individuals on how to build a business online. He is one of those guys that is great in front of a camera and training and being there, but he's also one that just gets stuff done behind the scenes. He has, I think one of the best things I could say about him is just he's one of the best men that I have ever met. He is absolutely a genuine individual that cares about people, and he is a marketing whiz. So on that note, I'm going to bring him out. We'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff we've done. We've written ebooks together. We've created courses together. We've done all sorts of different things, and he's been able to leverage that in a lot of different ways. So on that note, guys, I want to welcome Brock Douglas. A little round of applause or hellos, welcomes for my man Brock Douglas here. We're going to go ahead and let's see. We're going to pin him, spotlight him. We're going to spotlight myself. All right. So, guys,
you're very kind.
This is my man, Brock Douglas. How are you, sir?
I'm great. I was just thinking all the stuff we've done together, like the book, we wrote a book together, did webinars, live events, traveled, Top Golf.
T-shirts made with ourselves together. We've done that.
We did get T-shirts made. That was not my idea, but.
No, that was 100% my idea, but I thought the shirts turned out pretty cool. I couldn't find mine today. I was actually thinking about wearing them.
Oh man, that's a shame.
But guys, what I brought Brock on to talk about today is we're going to continue along the vein. We talked about niches the other day. I want to talk about your target audience and your personal branding. And one reason Brock's so good at this is because he's helped, all different levels of businesses brand themselves, find different ways to brand themselves and create kind of that look and feel, and he understands content exceptionally well. He understands traffic, paid traffic, organic traffic, and how to create that perfect profile of the customer you're looking for, right? So that's the kind of stuff we're going to talk about. If you have questions, guys, now is going to be the time. Start dropping questions in. We'll continue the training a little bit later this week. I'll give you some slides and things, but take advantage of having this guy on. So, Brock, just so that they have a little bit of awareness, what are some different types of companies you've done branding, whether it's e-com, it's digital courses, it's, digital agencies and marketing, just like these guys are doing, other than what I said, what else have you done?
Yeah. Over the years, I've done a ton. I've worked with restaurants. I've worked with local businesses, all sorts, chiropractors, dentists. I've worked with a lot of e-com companies in Canada and the United States. I've worked with some speakers, consultants who do consulting for manufacturing companies. I currently work with an a kicking coach who was a collegiate kicker, and now he coaches the NFL and high school athletes. I've helped worked with other marketing agencies and helped with their branding and how they present themselves. So yeah, I've done a little bit of everything. I've worked with thousands of businesses. Andrew and I worked with thousands of businesses, helping people get launched and, make the first, 5, 6, 7 figures online. So yeah, I'm pretty experienced with it, but, it's something I love is helping people get to that next level, whatever that goal is for them. That's one of my life goals is to help people get there.
And you're a musician too.
And I'm a musician. Yeah, I was a touring musician for 11 years in the contemporary Christian music industry. Had a couple of top 20 Billboard songs. I guess our biggest claim to fame was that we opened up for Bon Jovi once, which was a pretty fun experience. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Bon Jovi. But we have some songs that have 2 million views or streams and on YouTube and Spotify and all that. But that's I forget that I did that. It's a former life, but I played at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville. I live in the Nashville, Tennessee area. But yeah, I play music and it's one of my passions. So.
Okay. So we could spend hours talking about how cool Buck is. We really could. So, let's kind of dive in. So guys, questions about branding, questions about connecting with your target audience and why a target audience is important. And so we'll handle, questions as we go in, because I've got a couple of things to point out with Brock and get his feedback on, because you guys have heard me talk about it, but I want you to be able to hear about it from some other perspectives as well. So, a lot of what they do. So the one question, social media, what's your preference? So a lot of what they do here, the funnel is built out and we get customization for Facebook profiles. I've talked about the ability to use it on LinkedIn, but that a lot of different platforms will work. If you're going out after businesses, where would you look and why, and what kind of factors would you be thinking about based on your niche?
Yeah. Great question. Well, first off, I would like to start off by saying before you even ever pursue a business that, a potential client, you have to realize that you are the professional, you're the expert and whenever you're going to, talk to them about or present them. And if you don't think of yourself as the expert, you just have to realize that just being a chapter ahead of them, if you have a skill that they are currently not doing, you are the expert. If there's a great movie, Leonardo DiCaprio called Catch Me If You Can. And it's a true story about this guy who was a con artist and he would go and, he was like he worked as a lawyer and a teacher at Harvard and all these different things. And he used to, make fake money and all this different stuff. But one of the parts of that movie, I think it's a book too, but one of the parts of that movie that really jumped out at me was he said, he taught at Harvard, which is it was Ivy League school. It might not have been Harvard, but he taught at this Ivy League school. And when they got arrested, they asked him, how did you do that? Like, how are you able to teach at this Ivy League school? And he said, oh, it's simple. I just read the chapter ahead and then taught it the next day at school. And that's all that for you guys, if you're learning this new skill, which is marketing and all these different things and reaching out to these businesses, you just have to be a chapter ahead of them. Get an understanding of the business that you're going to market for, but all you have to do is be a chapter ahead and be able to answer those questions that they don't already know.
That is guys, please listen to what he said. And because I know there's been a handful, I've gotten some feedback from a handful of accountability representatives recently where if you're stuck in that paralysis by analysis, if you're stuck going, oh, I need to know this, or I have to do this, or I've got to be the one that's accomplishing X, Y, Z before I do anything. What he said is so important. You're not going to know everything before you start, guys. You won't. That is a pathway that just leads to frustration. All you need to do is be a chapter ahead. All you need to do is learn a little bit more and then share that, right? Success is success. Yeah, and I've said that before, but all you have to do is a little bit more than the people that you're helping, and you'll be that much further along. And you're sharing that and helping them. So if I understand what they are dealing with, then that's helpful, right? So, Brock, what I talk about with them on selecting the niche and being able to kind of figure that out. So yeah, I'm sharing some of these ideas, but so I talk about the market dominating position. So it's my message is, I understand what you have, but you don't want, your problem, your issue, whatever, but you don't want, and what you want, but you don't have, right? Like, so when we talk about target audience, what's a good way? And before we get into Scott's asking about, how to dress up and different things like that, before we even get there, if you're deciding on a type of business and you need to figure out what they have, but they don't want, what they want, but they don't have, how do you go about figuring that out?
Yeah, well, I would say one of the great things that you can do is join some groups, some forums where you can see the chatter back and forth between them, and you really get an understanding of some of their issues and their struggles. So one of the things you can do is join Facebook groups. So if I want to reach out to chiropractors, I can join Facebook groups for chiropractors, or marketing groups for chiropractors. Their Facebook ads or Google ads, or all these different things. There's plenty of groups online. If you understand how they talk, understand their issues, you can do that by joining some of these groups, some of these forums. That's one easy first step that any of you guys can do. There might be some groups where they're going to ask, are you active in these industries? Sometimes there's ways around that, but there's tons and tons of groups that you can start finding out those things.
So along that line, so one of the questions is it good to advertise in Facebook groups?
So the easy answer is no. You can't really advertise in most Facebook groups. There's usually rules inside those groups that say there's no promotion, no advertising. Ways to get around that is to ask the admin of the group. Say if you have a service, the easiest, you just message them. And say, hey, I have a service. Can I present it to you? Sometimes those admins will want some kind of kickback. You'd have to pay them for it. If it is a service that they feel that doesn't conflict with something that they're already promoting, then they'll let you do it. But the best way to do it is to read the rules of the group and then figure out. Because if you do something like try to advertise in the group, then you can get booted pretty quickly. There are ways to advertise to people in the group. There's kind of a ninja strategy. At this point, are you guys running Facebook ads or familiar with Facebook ads as of yet?
So we've talked about it some. There's some training in the dashboard, and then depending on what they do. So I've gone over certain basics. So guys, occasionally we may throw out an idea here, and please don't get overwhelmed by it. You may or may not be ready for it. That's okay. I mean, we do a lot of organic and I always talk to them about a balanced approach, right? Mm-hmm. Ads will get you somewhere, but organic's a great way to generate leads, and it's human capital, totally. Other stuff. So go ahead. If you've got a ninja strategy, some of them will appreciate it. For those of you who are doing advertising already with Facebook, one thing that you will learn eventually is about audiences. So when you start running advertising, I'll give you a quick overview of Facebook ads. There's interest targeting. So you can target interest. So if I want to run advertising to just chiropractors, I can select chiropractors as an option. Now that option inside of Facebook could be really watered down. It might have tons of chiropractors. It could have people that have friends of chiropractors or have commented on a post about chiropractor, or whatever it may be. It could be kind of watered down. But that's an audience. That's a great thing to test inside of Facebook when spending money. What you can do in Facebook is create your own audiences. You can create audiences for people who have watched a certain amount of videos, who have been to your Instagram profile, who've been to your Facebook page. Those are really great things and really valuable, especially if it's not flooded with just your friends and family. So one strategy that you can do to target Facebook groups is if you have videos that are relevant to that niche that you're trying to target, you've joined those Facebook groups, you can send that video you don't have to put any text with it. You can just post that video into those Facebook groups that have your target audience. Then inside of Facebook, you can create a custom audience of anybody who's watched that video. And that is one way to advertise to the people inside of that Facebook group. There is no way to advertise to the Facebook group outside of that, unless you have a way to connect with the admin and market to them. So right. So again, it's about the content that is relevant to the niche that you're going after, guys. So it goes back to what we've talked about over and over. So if I understand my niche, it becomes that much easier to, provide relevant content. But it's not just the niche and how to select that niche. Now it's who are the business owners in that niche? What is it that they're dealing with, and why will my content connect with them, right? People are going to buy from you, know, like, and trust.
I'll even say it's like, don't discount just reaching out to a chiropractor and asking questions. When I first started marketing, I was waiting tables, and I'm like, I need to get out of the restaurant business and start marketing. So I literally just posted on my Facebook, hey, are there any chiropractors that I'm friends with, or that you might be friends with, that I could ask some questions to? And I got a few responses, and I was able to ask questions to a chiropractor. And that was the first niche that I got into, was with chiropractor. So it's just a really easy one for me to throw out there. But I was able to ask questions like, hey, what are some of the struggles? What are the things that you're looking for in your business? Like, if you had 100 more clients today, would that be a good thing or a bad thing? Could you handle that? I was able to ask those types of questions. So just posting in on your Facebook or your LinkedIn account and just asking those questions, to see if there's someone you can just hop on a call with. A lot of these guys are, and that could be your first client, right? But a lot of these guys are really, really open to just sharing ideas and finding solutions.
Business owners like talking about their business. When you do it, don't do it with the intent to sell them something.
Right.
That's something that, don't go into it hungry and desperate. Say, I'm looking to know, and let them teach you. And then if they say, why are you asking, or what's the, say, well, and my goal is, I've got a business and the goal is to help chiropractors understand social media better and better turn those followers into buying customers, like people walking in their doors. And I'm just trying to understand the struggles that you have more. And then if they say, hey, well, I'd like to see that. Let me see what you've got. Great. Here you go. Hey, check it out. Let me know. But really, I'd like to know what ways you need help with your business. Guys, always come from that place of servitude, right? And you'll have benefit from it.
Yeah. So, I think that's really important, because a lot of multi-level marketers, I would say that's the one thing that they do wrong right out the gate, is that they try to sell. And you might have had this happen to you, or you might have done it yourself, that you're like, you're supposed to make a list of 10, 15 of your closest friends and family, and then try to sell them whatever this supplement is. But if you're not building that relationship first, then they're going to see right through you. It's different if you're running advertising, or they understand that this is, you're selling them something. But if you're going to reach out to somebody to get some information, exactly what Andrew said, try to get value, try to get understanding. Yeah.
Yeah. So, one question, and I think that's Jens that's asking, right? So the niche that they've got, they're working with businesses helping, pregnant women, right? Or expecting mothers. So nutrition advisors, doctors, et cetera. So it's B2B, and the customers are private persons. Yeah. So that side of it, guys, for everybody, all of you are B2B, and the businesses are helping consumers, right? So focus mainly on the nutrition advisors for generating leads and their problems, or on the pregnant women and their nutrition. So your role, guys, is to help the business owner always. Now, if occasionally you add some content that is relevant to their space and helps them know that you understand their space. So if you're helping nutritionists that are working with, and OBGYN doctors and others that are working with pregnant women, you say, what you do is you talk about that consumer, but tie it back to the business, right? So you don't need to be the one educating, because you're a marketer. So you're not educating the doctor on nutrition. You may say, did you realize this new stat and how you'd be able to help more clients, blah, 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 right? Like, so I don't need to tell, an attorney how to practice law. What I need to occasionally, you go, hey, did you see this thing that's happening in your industry? What do you think, right? Or were you aware? Something brand new, something along those lines. Let me help you help more people solve that issue, right? That's the flow of information here. We are a resource for the business. We're not trying to tell the business how to run their business. Unless you want to get into business consulting, then that's a whole other world. Brock and I have both done a bit of that. It's a little bit different than just simply helping them with their marketing. And Jens, I hope that kind of, makes sense. So David's asking, is there a plan, timetable, benchmarks? How many businesses have you worked with now over the last, say, 5 years?
If you're not including e-commerce businesses, then 5 years, man, probably 30, 40 businesses.
Okay. So including e-com, we're both up into the legitimately thousands.
Yeah.
So have any of them found are there any standard benchmarks timetable wise?
So
of everyone that you've worked with, what would you say?
Yeah, so I like to teach that to my clients that it's a compounding effort, whatever we're doing. That it's with paid advertising, you can get a lot of results really quickly. But those results don't always mean dollars. But over time it can be. So, you can get a lot of I'm working with a toffee company in Canada. First ad we started running was positive ROAS, a positive return on ad spend. We were making money right away. We're building an email list, and it was great. So there's a compounding effort with their email list that now every time we send out an email, literally every time we send an email, it's $1,000 a day for them. So our compound effort is that we're building up your email list, and over time, that email list is going to be a big chunk of your business. We started working with this. I have a few art clients that are painters, and for them, we can't really just go straight to, hey, buy this artwork, buy these prints. It has to be, we're building up their email list. So for them, we're going to see, your email list start to grow. We're going to see your social media accounts start to grow. And as they grow over the next few months, those new subscribers are going to turn into dollars. But we let them know right when we get with them. We start with channel growth. A lot of times where it's just building up Instagrams and Facebook accounts if they don't have those built up already. And then getting those people that are already those new audiences to start converting. So they understand 1-2 months.
Get them to engage, right?
Yeah.
Some kind of call to action, something to do. So the point really, guys, what he's saying is there's no set benchmark timetable. Like there's so many variables on so many different levels. Where are you currently? What's your skill level? How much effort are you putting into it? How often are you posting? Are you working on and putting up valuable content, or is it just kind of all over the place, right? There's an order to what you do. And so Natalie, I'm going to address yours, but one of the biggest mistakes you can make, David, is comparing your timetable to someone else's, right? Because it's your business and it's your life and it's your skill set and you're growing and everything else. Now, once you get going and maybe you launch multiple niches and you get yourself up and running, comparing to yourself can work. But, the work that I do now compared to the work that I did 5 years ago, it's totally different. So I don't have the same benchmarks and timetables. You start to get an idea as you get going. So Natalie, as a newbie, what I'd recommend doing first is going through the dashboard, watching it. And then if you want to put the funnel together one way or another, get to the strategy session. I hope everyone gets some value out of that when we sit and talk and you get some ideas. Organic versus paid ads really just depends on you. I mean, organic's always a great place to start because organic's going to take time. It's going to take time. The paid ads can get you going faster, like he said, but it depends on what strategies you're using and how well you understand the niche and your target audience, right? Mm-hmm. So you'll need a Facebook page. It'll need to get customized. And now, Natalie, if you're brand new, if you haven't had your strategy session, I'd say get to that and we can chat a little bit about it. So
yeah, I'm building up an account right now, organic, and it's a lot of work. Building up the Instagram channel, the YouTube channel. I was able to get the YouTube to monetize, but to the Facebook, Instagram, those things are a lot slower. It's a lot of manual work. So that's why a lot of people jump over to paid advertising because it can be a lot quicker, a lot targeted. But yeah, they're both great. I wouldn't discount either.
Yeah.
Writing blog articles.
You want to do both. I mean, that's just the reality. You want to do both. And you can either do it yourself or you can outsource, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can outsource to a guy like Brock. I've got VAs, a mutual partner of ours that we've done a lot of work with. I'm using some of his virtual assistants to do work for me from Stealth Agents. They're doing some of my stuff.
Nice.
It just depends on how you guys want to build it, guys. So don't you strive to have predictability leading to scalability? Yeah, but I can't predict how effective you'll be to begin with, right?
Yeah. I would say like let your clients know that, our goal is to get quick results, but these things do take time. Building up authority that's one thing that's I would say a buzzword for some of these businesses is authority, right? You don't just want to just show up in someone's pre-roll on YouTube. You want to make them the authority in whatever niche it is. When people type in chiropractor in Tampa, Florida, you want their chiropractor to show up first. You want, when someone has back pain, to see an ad for that right away. And over time, the more times they see that name, they become the authority. They become the go-to whenever there's an issue. So you're building that authority, you're building that trustability for whatever that brand is that you're going to be working with.
Okay, so here's a question. Scott's asking, so he's got, Blake seems working to do customization on his funnel right now. It'll be ready soon. But he's already started posting and asking questions just like you were talking about. People are already asking, hey, show me the product. So what would you do in this kind of, this little bit of time where we're going, okay, I'm not quite ready yet, but I still want to provide value and build a relationship. What can you do?
Honest, man, if you can hop on a call with them, I mean, I don't know how well you know of the products that you're about to promote, but conversations are great, especially if you can be in person with them. I think that tons of value there.
This is kind of that next level. And guys, Darren had talked about that too. He'll hop on a call and if you're looking to kind of get things going, this can help because you get that call like Brock was talking about earlier, right? We can talk to him and say, yeah, these are the solutions that I'm going to be bringing to the table for people. And they go, that's great. And you go, what are some of the other problems you've got? So Scott, I know, a survey to your people is one of the things, like you've got a handful of great questions you can start with right now. Yeah, I'm going to have this and this. So
that's
tell
something.
me.
Sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, if you get some Facebook, if you get in some Facebook groups, that's a great place to survey, ask those questions. Hey, I just started working with lawyers and I've just had some, what are some of the issues that you're running into? I just started doing marketing and branding for lawyers. And then now that buzzword I just said, now you start to become the authority, or you're that name that they know. Oh, you know what? I was looking for someone to do some marketing and branding. Now I can ask that question. Now that's not advertising. You're just asking questions. So that's one of those things that you can do to start getting answers to your questions and then starting conversations with your target market.
Yeah. So Scott, to begin with, and so this goes for everybody, guys, right away. When people ask, what are you doing? Show me the product. Right? You don't immediately shove the product down their throat. I wouldn't, right? There's a reason the funnel is built up a certain way. I'd go, I'd love to chat with you about it. I'm getting started working with people that are just like you, but I'd really love to understand your business a little bit better. Can we have a quick conversation, right? Are you open to tell me a little bit about your business? I'm not trying to sell you anything, just want to hear about your business. Tell them that and then hold to it. Okay. In your messaging, if you guys want some power relationships to begin with, tell someone, listen, I'm just wanting to know a little bit about your business. Well, I won't sell you anything right now. I'm just looking to learn. Okay. And then let them ask. So if you're looking to do, this is organic, right? This is me building a relationship organically instead of running an ad, because running an ad is I'm offering you something. I've got this call to action. This is an organic step that I can take where I still have call to action, right? I've talked about that over and over. You're still getting the customer to do something, small commitments, but you're gaining information about your audience. Okay. Now, guys, all of this that we're talking about takes time. And it's not all stuff you've got to have done and do before you launch or before you make any decisions. Some of you guys think this all has to be done before you do day one. Right. And then I've had, Brock, how many people have you had come and go, well, I want to kind of understand marketing the way you do before I do anything?
Oh, I mean, too many.
And what's the response at that point?
Just do it. Yeah, literally, you have to be okay with making mistakes. My first client, so the first few people that I worked with, I made some mistakes. It wasn't as good as it could have been. I look back and I could look back and I'm such a failure. I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to figure it out. but then I would just quit. I would give up. So what I did was I realized every failure is just a learning experience for me. Every mistake I've made is a mistake I'm not going to make next time. So then now I have a better understanding of what to do and what not to do. And they're just going to move on to their next marketing, rep or whoever it is. So I'm just going to find I have a better understanding. I'm going to move on to the next one. And I know like my first person that I got results for, I ended up doing the work for free for him and got him really great results and got him a lot of clients. And I figured out like how to he got this many clients. So this is the dollar amount that you're going to make in the next 6 months off of these clients. He's like, yeah, that's great. No, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll get back to you. Click. And I'm like, man, I don't think I did a good job selling them. And so the next time I got on a call with someone, I made sure that I had set goals. I made sure that I was able to close them a lot better. I didn't have a automated funnel system like you guys are running. So it was a lot more difficult for me. Now so that's something that I run.
Service, guys. And when we're talking about offering kind of that next level service, you don't ever have to take that step. You've got automated things here. You can work with that, but understanding your target audience, because I know we're talking about getting on a call, and that to some of you may seem incredibly scary. Let me be clear. You don't ever have to do that part of it. We're simply giving you a lot of different options, right? Is everybody clear with that? I mean, we're good with, here's an idea. Don't immediately get overwhelmed. Because sometimes we give you, I feel at times like I give you too many ideas. I'm not trying to confuse you. If you want to go simple, you have a partner program that will allow you to customize your Facebook profile, select your niche, customize your funnel, and then on Facebook, you build your brand like he's talking about. You become the expert. So I'm going to build up my credibility. And the way I'm going to do that is, content ads and other things. So I get people to know, like, and trust me on my page and in groups. And I'm going to do things organically, and I'm going to run ads. And we've got a funnel that works.
100%. I agree. If you can brand yourself well, so I think that question was for someone who is not completely ready. But right. If you have your branding set up 100%, like someone goes to your profile and all of their questions are answered, or the trust for them has gone through their roof, they might not ever need to talk to you. Like I've made purchases of things that I just went and checked them out and like, this is legit. I'm seeing comments of people that are happy. I'm seeing reviews and I'm seeing videos and seeing their face. Like they're a real person. It's not a scam. I'm in. So like exactly what Andrew's saying, if branding is set up for yourself or for your business, then you don't need to get on the phone. You don't need to get on the phone with them. You probably don't even have a chat conversation with them.
Let's look at the other side. So Jason says, I love making a call. It's the tech stuff that scares me. So what would you say for people that say, well, technology scares me?
Well, I think that's the benefit of the system that you have is that a lot of it's automated, right? So, yeah. And so
ClickFunnels, you're using ClickFunnels. So.
ClickFunnels is easy. So it's probably the easiest. I've tried some others, like I've tried GrooveFunnels, and it's not as simple as ClickFunnels. So I think that's a benefit for what you guys are doing right now is a lot of it's automated, a lot of it's set up. And if you follow the system, then it should work. Right. But yeah, the tech stuff, I think it's, I actually had this, I got on a call. I'm reading this book. Have you ever read this, Andrew? Secret of the Ages?
I haven't read that one.
I recommend it. I think you'd really love it. There's this chapter in there called, talking about the subconscious and how that subconscious, how important it is. Like if you don't think about walking, right? Your subconscious takes over that, but you can control your subconscious to change how you walk, right? So when at first you didn't know how to walk, but as you started learning to walk, your subconscious eventually took over so that walking no longer is something that you have to think about. So when it comes to the tech stuff, I remember when I was waiting tables. I just got off the road. I was a full-time musician, just got off the road and started waiting tables because I was trying to like transition into whatever that next thing, or if I got back out on the road, I wanted to find a job. Like a lot of you guys, you don't want to work for somebody else. You want to be, you want to be self-sufficient. You want to be able to make your own money. So I was like, I need to find a job that I can either do from the road or I can work from home, because I spent so much time away from my family being a full-time touring musician. When you go out west on tour, you don't come home. Like I live in Nashville. So, you know, when we're on tour on the East, I come over every like Monday through Wednesday, I'm home. And then I go back out on the road Thursday through Sunday. Right. When you go out West, you're gone for 3-4 weeks, a couple of months. If you go overseas, you're gone even longer. So I started waiting tables, and I realized that like the first job I had at Logan's Roadhouse was I got into what we call the weeds, where it's just the work is so difficult. It's like you're learning this new skill. You have a full set of tables. It's a Friday night. It is busy, crazy. Every table needs something. You got to drop some checks. You got to get some refills. You got to put some orders in. I remember sitting there at the server station, filling up some sodas, and just like wanting to bust out in tears because I realized how difficult this was. And I'm like, how does anybody figure this out? Like, this is just impossible. Right. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel that way with the tech stuff, or you've never had to work a job on a computer. You've never tried to start a business before. It is overwhelming. It is overwhelming for anybody. I don't care who you are. When you start something new and you don't understand it fully, it is overwhelming. But
everybody, I'm going to let you finish your thought. But guys, anytime you try anything new, there is those moments of overwhelm. I said it over and over, but please understand that and don't let it stop you or think you have to know everything before you keep moving. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So I got to the point where like I literally had to take it day by day, and eventually, surprising, right? It started to get easier to the point where I took another job at another restaurant, started making more money. I hit that wall again where I was like, wow, this job is busier. There's more money. It's harder. It's faster paced. But I felt this before. I remember feeling this before.
But did the work get easier?
It got easier.
Amount of work.
Oh, right, exactly.
You became more skilled, more competent.
Right. And so it felt like it was easier, even though I became a trainer and started training other people, and I saw them hitting those walls. I'm like, whoa. This has happened before. Like, you can do this. To the point where I went to another job where I was like the head trainer. I was everybody who came through that restaurant trained with me because I knew how to overcome those obstacles. Like when you first learned how to walk, did you fall over and say, I'm not going to do this. This is too hard. I can't figure out this walking stuff. No, you didn't. You got up and you tried it again because you saw everybody else walking, and it looked like it was easy for them. The tech stuff is hard. It's still stressful for me, but I know I can get through it, and it feels like it's easier, even though it's the same amount of work.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are struggling,
your abilities increase, or you find someone else to do things, right? I mean, that's the key, right? Brock and I have had this conversation so many times. He understands, because we've done so much together, I understand his strengths. He knows mine. And like, if it comes to, cause we've built funnels out together, we've built funnels out for our own stuff. We've done webinars. We've built out whole courses with hours of
live
content.
Events. Yeah.
Yeah. Live events. Like, he knows what I'm going to be good at. And so I'll do that. And then how many times have I handed over and gone, here, adjust this for us. You get it done. Right. And we've done that plenty of times. So learning about yourself and being able to say, like Jason saying that if the tech side, if it's easier, find the easiest route, or find the person or group or whatever that can do those things for you so you can focus on other stuff. Right. I mean, we had one webinar that we had to put together content wise. I'd say a chunk of it, but then I handed it to him and he went in and did the editing and added the other stuff that was going to be key to what he was going with, right? And made it, and then together we were able to make it work. Now, you don't necessarily need another Brock in your pocket to run your business, but understanding your skill level, guys, is going to be important to where things go. And
I think outsourcing is really important. A lot of people are afraid to do it or think it's too much of a cost. I think your time, sometimes your time is more valuable than handing it off to somebody else, right? Like if it's say copywriting, right? If you want to sit down, so Andrew is an incredible copywriter. He's incredible with words. He reads 3 books a week. I don't do that. Those are the books I've read. Andrew reads that in a month, right? So I understand that's his strength. So he's going to handle a bulk of that. I can jump in and tweak and make it sound like my voice and all that. But outsourcing, it makes sense for me to spend $50 for someone to write a script for me, right? Or a sales script. Like some of you guys don't feel comfortable getting on the phone. Maybe it's because you don't have a script. Maybe you need to outsource the script writing to somebody. You know, I don't know if you guys have scripts in the business, but basically what I'm saying is there are things that hourly jobs that I don't need to spend my time on that I'm going to outsource. Right now, I'm building for one of the businesses I'm working in. I'm building up a YouTube channel. I've been handling the video editing, which is one of those skills that were overwhelming that I eventually learned. I just like to learn new skills. Now I'm at the point where my time is more valuable working on higher level things in the business that I'm now going to outsource the video editing to somebody. I found someone on Upwork for $3 an hour to do video editing, which is in their country, that's great pay.
Yeah, guys, the key with this is there are different ways to build your business. And we keep going back to this. There are a number of formulas that work. That the element is you've got to get things done, right? So Jeannie, you're asking where to start. You've been given kind of where to, and I say this just because you and I have talked a number of times and you are always on these calls. So, you know, what I say with as much love as possible, but you've given exactly where to start. You've got it. You just need to do it step by step. And there's going to be those moments where you go, what do I do here? Well, you watch that video until you understand it or you message support and get that clarified and you keep going through, right? And you can't put I should be here timeline on it to what David was saying earlier about benchmarks and timetables, because it's your skill level at the beginning, you're learning and growing. And as you work through it, different elements will become easier because your skill level will increase. And at some point, and you're going to go, if you're looking to not spend funds, then you need to do organic. And if I'm going organic, guys, then it's going to take longer. And I've got to be willing to do more work. That's the nature of a business, right? If when I was doing cleaning and restoration, if a job had to get done and I didn't want to outsource it, I didn't want to subcontract it, I had to get it done. It means my hands had to be on there. It was going to take me more time to get it done, right? My take home may have been a little bit more, but the frustration level is also going to be higher. And that's just kind of the nature of life and business and everything else. So
it's only temporary too.
Okay, yeah. But should I be going into the groups now, or should I be building out the funnel first?
Both. You should be doing both.
Joining a group is 1 or 2 buttons. Yeah. Join the groups now and get ready and just what they call lurk in there, shadow.
Yeah. Lurk, ask questions, look at other people's profiles, just start learning about your audience, right? Take a few minutes every day and do that. I always talk about this, guys, education and execution. So learning about your audience is part of education. So get in the groups and start doing stuff. You don't have to start telling them, hey, I've got all of this yet if you don't want to, but you can get in there and start feeling your way around. So Scott says technology, I love being challenged. My question along those lines is, should I be more focused on getting in front of people, videos connecting, or setting up the funnel? So in terms of doing what I'm scared of the most versus being in my comfort zone, I've got different views on. So what you're scared of versus comfort zone, Brock?
Fear's an interesting thing, isn't it? Yeah, you have to confront it eventually. So how much can you tolerate, really? Your comfort zone's great, but if you live there, you will eventually be passed up. So I think touching on a little bit of what you're scared of, and taking it up as a win, like you just climbed a mountain, celebrate it.
Every step of the way is a win.
Yeah. Celebrate those wins and those accomplishments. Even look back at some of the things that you've accomplished in the past that you were scared of. And then, So going back to this book I was telling you about, that Michael Jordan, he doesn't, when he would shoot 3-pointers, right? He never thought about the things that he made mistakes on. He only thought about the times he sunk the shot. So when you're scared of something, don't think about how you failed. Think about how it's made you a better person, how it's made you more successful, how every time you've done it right. Don't think about the accomplishments. When you've conquered whatever that goal is, think about how you've accomplished something in the past. Like what I was saying with the restaurant, like it sucked. and I got better at it and became one of the best. I'm, toot my own horn. I bought a house while waiting tables. Like, that's kind of a big deal. So, that's a huge win for me, huge victory. So now I know, okay, I've done this before. Like, I've accomplished something really difficult. So tackle your fears, do them one at a time. Don't try to do them all at once if it's going to be overwhelming, until you get to the point where you're like, okay, I think I can take on more, 2 or 3 at a time, whatever it is. So that's just my thoughts.
Fall forward, not fall backwards. Got it.
Yeah,
yes.
Always go forward.
Those are great videos, by the way.
sometimes,
Thank you, Andrew. Those are great videos.
by the
Good.
way, there's other thing that sometimes I don't know my mic works. That when you are just hitting the walls, when you're just doing your breakthrough, and it's just like so frustrating, and you didn't expect that, and annoying as hell. What I sometimes do, I just remind myself how helpless I thought fighting with nonsense at my ex-work. I don't want to do that ever again. And then when you finish dealing with something that day, which was sometimes exhausting, this is so satisfying because you did it, and it felt like you are just like the wall. So leverage whatever you can leverage.
Guys,
I leverage old nonsense and boom, going through.
This is where I've
Somebody
talked
said
about
I was too silent. There you go.
having at the end of your day a list of accomplishments, things that you've actually done. Just recently I did a training on, your Phoenix moment, going back and looking at when you just achieve something incredible and writing that down and looking at it, because you'll deal with that same stuff here. And this is where, again, guys, we go back and forth all the time. There is an intrinsic connection between your mindset and your business success and your marketing and connecting in the different daily tasks you've got to do. And if you neglect working on yourself, all of the rest of it will suffer, right? So go after, occasionally break through, deal with some of the things that you're scared of. See, scared of and not wanting to do are two different things, right? I'm not scared of the technology anymore because I've done it. I figured it out. I've learned what to do. I just don't enjoy doing it. So I have somebody else do it, right? Find what you need to do, what you excel at. So if you're talking about not just your comfort zone, we're not looking at that. We're looking at our zone of genius and our zone of excellence, like finding that and going so hard and so deep into that everything else becomes easy, right? That's how you overcome those fears. That's how you do it. So on that note, guys, we're pushing in on an hour. I have a feeling I could probably talk Brock into joining me some other time in the future if you guys like. So what do you guys think? Would it be worthwhile? You think we could talk him into it? We get a little
Yay!
Yeah, this is fun.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We get a little more ebony and ivory, Brock. What do
That'd be awesome.
So on that note, guys, as always, appreciate you guys being on. This will be edited. It will be up on the YouTube channel soon. That'll be there. But as we wrap up, Brock, you have any last words for us?
Man, my mantra has always been take action. Like like what Andrew's saying, you get stuck in an analysis paralysis where you do so much researching and planning and strategizing, and then you don't ever take action, and then you forget about it. And you're like, that happens to a lot of people where they just forget, oh yeah, there's that business I was trying to start, and maybe I'll do that next month. No, like just do the first step, and don't be afraid to fall on your face, because it's a learning experience. Failure is a good thing, guys. Failure is a really good thing because it shows your weaknesses that you can then work on, and it helps you learn how to accomplish those things in the future. So take action.
And as always, rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenix. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Brock, I love you, my brother.
Hey.
Good having you on, man.
Yeah, great seeing you.
Always a good time. We will see you guys soon. Everybody go out and kick some butt today. We'll talk to you later, guys.